Hello, welcome back to my channel Bookish English. My name is Ariel, and today I want to tell you a story. This story is simple, but it is important. This story is about life. It is about time. It is about a lesson I learned slowly. When I was young, I did not think about the future. I thought life was very long. I thought tomorrow would always come. I woke up late every day. I used my phone for many hours. I watched random videos. I talked a lot, but I learned very little. My days passed, but I did not feel them passing. I was alive, but I was not living with purpose. I did not read books. I did not build skills. I did not ask myself deep questions. I just moved from one day to another day. I laughed, but my laughter was empty. I rested, but my rest did not give me strength. Inside, I felt quiet and confused. I did not know it then, but I was wasting my life one small hour at a time. One evening, I was sitting alone in my room. The light was low. The room was quiet. I felt tired, but I had done nothing all day. That feeling was strange. I asked myself a question for the first time. I asked, what did I do today? I searched my mind, but I found nothing important. That moment stayed with me. A few days later, an older man came to visit our home. He was a family friend. He was calm and slow. He did not speak much. He looked at me and smiled softly. Then he said one sentence. He said, "Do not waste your life." He did not explain. He did not teach a lesson. He just said those words and stayed quiet. At that time I nodded and smiled, but inside I felt something move. His words were simple, but they were heavy. That night, I could not sleep well. The sentence stayed in my mind, "Do not waste your life." I said it again and again in my head. The next morning I woke up early by mistake. The sun was still soft. The air was cool. I sat on my bed and thought. I thought about my days. I thought about my habits. I thought about my future. For the first time, I felt scared, not of failure, but of wasting more time. I saw that time was moving, even when I was doing nothing. I understood that every hour I lost would never come back. That thought made my heart feel heavy. I decided to try something small. I did not make a big plan. I did not promise big changes. I only promised one thing. I promised to respect my time. That day, I wrote one simple line in a notebook. Use today well. I placed the notebook near my bed. The next day, I woke up and saw the line again. It reminded me of my promise. I started with small actions. I woke up a little earlier. I drank water and opened the window. I looked at the sky for 1 minute. That 1 minute felt peaceful. I read one short page from a simple book. I did not understand everything, but I read slowly. I wrote one sentence about my day. Just one sentence. These actions were small, but they were new. At first, my mind fought me. It said, "Go back to sleep." It said, "This is boring." It said, "You can start tomorrow." But I remembered the sentence, "Do not waste your life." I repeated it quietly. After a few days, something changed. My mornings felt lighter. My mind felt clearer. I was still the same person, but I was moving in a new direction. I stopped spending long hours on useless things. I did not cut them fully, but I reduced them. I learned to ask myself one question before doing something. Is this helping me grow? If the answer was no, I tried to stop. Some days I failed. Some days I wasted time again. But I did not hate myself. I just noticed it and tried again the next day. I learned that change is slow, but it is possible. I also started listening more and speaking less. I listened to people who had experience. I listened to people who were calm and focused. I learned that they all respected time. They did not rush, but they did not waste moments either. They did small things every day. That lesson stayed with me. Weeks passed, and my notebook became fuller. My sentences became clearer. My thoughts became stronger. I started to feel proud, not because I was perfect, but because I was trying. I felt more alive. My days had shape. My time had value. One evening, I sat again in my room, but this time the feeling was different. I was tired, but it was a good tired. I had read, I had written, I had learned something small. I smiled to myself. I understood something important. Life does not change in one day. Life changes when you stop wasting it. That was the real lesson behind that simple sentence. Do not waste your life. From that day, I decided to share this message. That is why I am here on Bookish English. I speak slowly. I use easy words. I share real thoughts. Because I know many people feel lost like I did. Many people think they have time forever. But time is quiet. It moves without noise. And one day, it is gone. I do not want that for you. I want you to wake up before it is too late. You do not need to be great. You do not need to be fast. You just need to care. Care about your hours. Care about your days. Care about your life. This story is not finished yet. This is only the beginning. I continued my journey one slow day at a time. Every morning, I reminded myself why I started. I reminded myself that life is not a game with unlimited chances. I saw how people around me lived. Many woke up late and complained. Many talked about dreams but did nothing. I did not judge them. I understood them because I was once the same. I learned that comfort can feel nice, but it can quietly steal your future. I began to protect my mornings. I kept them calm and clean. I did not touch my phone for the first hour. I sat quietly and breathed. I read a few lines. I wrote a few thoughts. These simple actions gave my day a strong start. During the day, I tried to be present. When I worked, I worked. When I rested, I rested. I stopped doing many things at the same time. I learned that focus saves time. Distraction wastes it. At first, it was hard. My mind wanted noise. It wanted easy pleasure. But I stayed patient. I told myself that patience is also a use of time. Slowly, my focus improved. I could sit longer with a book. I could think deeper about one idea. I felt my confidence grow quietly. I did not tell many people about my change. I wanted my actions to speak first. Some people noticed and asked questions. I answered simply. I said I was learning to respect my time. That answer surprised them. It also surprised me. I realized that respecting time means respecting yourself. When you waste time, you waste your own life energy. That thought made me careful. I started setting small goals for each week, not big goals, only clear ones. Finish a chapter, practice a skill for 10 minutes, write one page, help one person. I checked these goals at the end of the week. If I failed, I did not shout at myself. I only asked why. That question helped me adjust. I learned from mistakes instead of hiding from them. I also learned to say no. This was difficult. I used to say yes to everything. I feared missing out. But I learned that saying yes to everything means saying no to your future. So I chose carefully. I chose learning over noise. I chose growth over comfort. I chose long peace over short pleasure. This choice was not dramatic. It was quiet. It happened again and again in small moments. I felt stronger each time I chose well. I also learned to forgive myself. Some days were bad. Some days I wasted hours again. Old habits returned. When that happened, I stopped and breathed. I reminded myself that progress is not a straight line. I wrote one honest sentence in my notebook. I wasted time today, but I will try again tomorrow. That honesty saved me. It kept me moving forward. I began to enjoy discipline. Not strict discipline, but gentle discipline. Discipline that guides, not hurts. I slept better. I ate better. I walked more. I noticed how my body and mind worked together. When I cared for my body, my mind felt clear. When my mind was clear, my time felt rich. I also started teaching what I was learning. I shared simple ideas on Bookish English. I spoke slowly and clearly. I wanted everyone to understand. I did not want to sound perfect. I wanted to sound real. Many people wrote to me. They said they felt the same pain. They said they were wasting time and feeling empty. I replied with kindness. I told them to start small. I told them to respect 1 hour. That advice came from my own life. I saw how 1 hour can change a day. I saw how 1 day can change a year. I also learned that fear is a big time waster. Fear of starting, fear of failing, fear of being judged. I faced this fear by acting small. I did one tiny action even when I was afraid. That action reduced fear. Action gave me courage. Waiting increased fear. This lesson was powerful. I used it again and again. When I felt afraid, I moved a little. Movement saved time. I also learned to reflect at night. Before sleep, I asked myself 3 questions. What did I do well today? What did I waste today? What will I do better tomorrow? These questions took 5 minutes. They saved me hours in the future. Reflection turned days into lessons. Lessons turned into wisdom. Wisdom made life feel meaningful. I stopped chasing motivation. I learned that motivation comes after action. I acted first. Motivation followed. This surprised me. I thought motivation should come first, but life taught me otherwise. I also learned to accept silence. Silence helped me hear my thoughts. It helped me see my direction. Noise hid the truth. Silence showed it. I began to enjoy quiet walks. I left my phone at home. I watched trees and people. I felt connected to time instead of running from it. I realized that time is not my enemy. Time is my teacher. It teaches through moments. It teaches through loss and growth. When I respect time, time gives me peace. When I waste it, time takes something away. This understanding changed how I lived. I became careful with promises. I became careful with habits. I became careful with words. Words also take time. I chose simple words, honest words, helpful words. I stopped complaining. Complaining did not fix anything. It only wasted breath and minutes. I replaced complaints with questions. What can I do now? That question moved me forward. I also learned to celebrate small wins. Finishing a page, waking up early, saying no, helping someone. These wins added up. They built confidence. Confidence made hard things easier. I noticed that my past no longer controlled me. My present actions shaped my future. This gave me hope. I understood that change does not need talent. It needs consistency. Consistency is a daily respect for time. I kept going. I kept learning. I kept sharing. My story was still simple, but it was honest. I knew I was not finished. I was still becoming. That felt right. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. I noticed a quiet change inside me. I was calmer. I was stronger. I felt less fear about the future. I felt less regret about the past. Each morning, I woke up with a small purpose. It was not a big purpose, just a little intention. Read a page, write one sentence, move one step. But each step counted. I realized that life is not about big actions all at once. It is about small actions repeated every day. That repetition builds a life. I started to plan my day in small blocks, not with strict schedules, but with clear intentions. 1 hour for learning, 1 hour for reflection, 1 hour for helping others, 1 hour for rest. Simple blocks, but powerful. I also learned to avoid useless comparisons. I used to compare myself with friends. Some were rich, some were popular, some were fast learners. I felt small. I felt behind. But slowly, I understood something. Comparison wastes time and energy. I only need to compare myself with my past self. Am I better today than yesterday? That question helped me focus. That question saved my time. I also learned to enjoy small challenges. They were not easy, but they were not too hard. I learned a new word every day. I wrote one paragraph in English every day. I memorized one fact about the world. These small challenges gave me joy. They gave me confidence. They made me curious. Curiosity kept me moving. I stopped fearing failure. I learned that mistakes are not the end. Mistakes are lessons. Each mistake taught me something new. I wrote them down in my notebook. I called it my lesson book. Each page was a small treasure. I read them again and again. They reminded me that I am learning. I also learned to take care of my body. I walked every day. I drank water. I ate simple meals. A healthy body helped my mind stay sharp. A sharp mind helped me use time well. I realized that body, mind, and time are connected. One supports the other. I also started helping others more. I shared what I learned with friends. I taught small skills to younger people. I shared my story on Bookish English. I spoke honestly about mistakes, habits, and lessons. People responded. Some thanked me. Some said they tried to start small. That response made me feel proud. It showed me that sharing knowledge is also a way to use time well. I started listening more to experienced people. I watched how they managed their day. I noticed simple things. They wake up early, they read, they think before acting, they avoid wasting words, they focus on meaningful work. I copied these habits slowly, not all at once. I learned that imitation is not shameful. It is a way to grow. I also discovered the power of single-minded focus. When I did one thing at a time, I did it better. When I tried to do many things at once, I failed. Focusing on one task made me faster, better, and calmer. I also started setting long-term goals. Not big dreams that feel impossible, but clear goals for a year or two. I wrote them down. Learn English better. Finish 3 books. Write 10 small essays. Help 5 people. These goals guided my daily actions. They gave my life direction. I also learned to reflect at night. Every evening I asked myself, what did I learn today? What did I do well? What did I waste? I wrote answers in my notebook. That reflection became a habit. It showed me patterns. It showed me what works and what does not. It helped me adjust without stress. I also learned to manage my phone. I used it only for learning or communication. I did not waste hours scrolling. That small change freed many hours. Hours I used to read, write, and think. I also started enjoying simple pleasures. I smiled at the morning sun. I listened to birds. I enjoyed a warm cup of tea while reading. I learned that life is rich even in small things. Joy is not always in big events. It is in small moments noticed carefully. I also learned to respect sleep. I went to bed early. I stopped wasting nights on random videos. Rest gave me energy. Energy gave me focus. Focus gave me time. I realized that respect for one thing creates respect for everything. Respect for time creates respect for life. I also learned patience. Change does not happen in a week. It takes months, even years. But each small action builds a strong foundation. I accepted that. I enjoyed small progress. I stopped expecting instant results. I also learned to reduce distractions. I kept my desk clean. I removed unnecessary apps. I avoided people who waste time. I focused on people who inspire, teach, or help. This circle of influence helped me grow faster. I also noticed gratitude. Every evening, I wrote 3 things I was thankful for. Small things. A good conversation, a helpful friend, a clear sky. Gratitude made life feel rich. It made work feel meaningful. I also learned to be flexible. Plans sometimes fail. Mistakes happen. People disappoint. I accepted that. I adjusted my day calmly. Flexibility saved my time and energy. I also learned to set boundaries. Some people want your time, but give nothing. I said no politely. I did not feel guilty. My time is precious. Protecting it is not selfish. I also learned to enjoy learning slowly. I read slowly, thought slowly, wrote slowly. Speed is not always useful. Understanding deeply is better than moving fast. I also learned the power of one sentence. Just like my uncle's sentence changed me. A short sentence can guide your life. Do not waste your life. That sentence repeats in my mind every day. It guides me when I feel lazy. It guides me when I feel afraid. It guides me when I feel lost. I repeat it quietly, and I act. Small steps every day. That is my life now. That is my lesson. As months passed, I saw bigger changes in my life. I felt calmer, stronger, and more aware of my time. Each day became meaningful, even if I did only small actions. I woke up early, wrote one sentence, read a page, and thought clearly. These small steps added up. I began noticing hours I used to waste. Hours lost on endless scrolling, gossip, or meaningless chatter. I replaced them with learning, helping, and reflection. My thoughts became clearer. My mind felt lighter. I realized that time is the most honest teacher. It never lies. It never waits. It only moves forward. I also started planning my days with simple lists. Not long schedules, just 3 or 4 things I wanted to achieve. Sometimes it was reading a story. Sometimes it was learning a word. Sometimes it was helping a friend. These small actions built confidence. I began to see myself differently. I was not perfect, but I was improving. I also learned to be kind to myself. Some days were slow. Some days I failed. I spent hours doing nothing. But I stopped judging myself. I only observed and adjusted. That kindness helped me continue. I also learned that the right people influence your life. I spent more time with friends who wanted to grow. I avoided people who laughed all day but never did anything useful. That change helped me focus. I also realized that happiness comes from progress, not comfort. Before, I thought fun was watching videos or sleeping. Now, I felt joy when I learned one new thing. I felt proud when I wrote a clear sentence. I felt alive when I helped someone. These small joys were better than long hours of distraction. I also learned the power of reflection. Every night, I wrote 3 things. What did I learn today? What did I do well? What can I improve tomorrow? This habit made me conscious of my day. It helped me notice patterns. It showed me where I wasted time and where I grew. I also started using my phone differently. I used it for learning, writing, and sharing good ideas. I stopped endless scrolling. That small change freed many hours. Hours I used for books, practice, and thinking. I also learned to respect my body. I walked every day. I drank water. I rested enough. A healthy body gave a clear mind. A clear mind helped me use my time wisely. I understood that body, mind, and time work together. I also learned patience. Change is slow, progress is small, but every small step counts. I did not rush. I did not get discouraged. I focused on today, not the end. I also learned the value of small wins. Finishing a page, waking up early, writing a sentence, saying no to distractions. Each win gave confidence. Each win encouraged me to continue. I also started to help others. I shared what I learned on Bookish English. I taught small lessons to friends. I shared my story honestly. Many people wrote back. Some said they tried to start small. Some said my story inspired them. That feedback gave me hope. It showed me that sharing knowledge is also a way to use time well. I also learned to listen more. I listened to older people and mentors. I observed their habits. I saw they respected time. They acted, learned, and reflected. I copied their small habits. Not everything, only what worked for me. I learned the power of focus. Doing one thing at a time made me stronger. Trying to do many things wasted energy. Focus improved speed, clarity, and quality. I also learned the importance of long-term goals. Not big dreams that feel impossible, but small goals for months or a year. Learn English better. Finish 3 books. Write 10 small essays. Help 5 people. These goals guided my daily actions. They gave life direction. I also learned to accept silence. Silence helped me hear my mind. Noise hides thoughts. Silence shows them. I took quiet walks. I left my phone at home. I noticed people, trees, and birds. I felt connected to time instead of wasting it. I realized that time is my teacher. Respecting it creates respect for life. I also learned to manage fear. Fear of starting, fear of failing, fear of being judged. I faced it with small action. I acted even when afraid. Action reduced fear. Waiting increased fear. I also learned to enjoy learning slowly. Read slowly. Think slowly. Write slowly. Deep understanding is better than speed. I also learned the value of one sentence. My uncle's sentence changed my life. Do not waste your life. It repeats in my mind every day. It guides me when I feel lazy, afraid, or lost. Small steps every day. That is my life now. That is my lesson. I also noticed gratitude. Each night, I wrote 3 things I was thankful for. Small things. A friend, a page read, a clear sky. Gratitude made life feel rich. It made small actions feel meaningful. I also learned to rest properly, sleep early, avoid late distractions. Rest gave energy. Energy gave focus. Focus gave time. I also learned that words matter. Choose simple, honest, helpful words. Avoid useless complaints. Replace complaints with questions. What can I do now? That question moved me forward. I also discovered the power of repeating lessons, reading notes again, revising small ideas, reflecting daily. Repetition created strength. Repetition built habits. Habits shaped life. I also learned that mistakes are teachers. Every mistake showed what to change. Every failure taught patience and courage. I wrote each lesson in my notebook. I called it my lesson book. It reminded me of progress. It reminded me that life grows slowly, but surely. I also learned that consistency matters more than intensity. Small actions daily are better than big actions once. I also learned to avoid distractions, unnecessary noise, and people who waste energy. Focused people helped me grow. I also learned that happiness comes from progress, not comfort. I enjoyed small successes, small improvements, small learning. Life felt full, even in small actions. That understanding changed my mind. I also learned the value of time. Money can return, but time cannot. Once gone, it is gone forever. That lesson guided all my choices. I protect my time now. I choose learning, growth, and kindness. I choose small daily steps instead of big, empty plans. I also learned that sharing knowledge strengthens it. Teaching others made me reflect, repeat, and improve. It also helped them start small. I shared my story, my lessons, and my daily habits on Bookish English. It helped me and others. I also learned to forgive myself. Some days were wasted, some hours lost. But forgiveness allowed me to continue without guilt. I also learned that curiosity drives growth. Curiosity led me to read, explore, and think. Curiosity gave joy in small actions. Curiosity made life interesting. I also learned to enjoy simple pleasures. A warm cup of tea, a clear morning, a good conversation, a quiet walk. Joy is often in small moments, not big events. I also learned the value of one question. Am I better today than yesterday? That question saved me from useless comparison. It kept me focused on my journey. I also learned that reflection turns mistakes into lessons. Reflection turns time into wisdom. Reflection turns days into meaning. As I continued, life felt more connected. I understood that every day has a choice. Each hour can be wasted or used. Each minute can build or destroy. I learned to start small, to act quietly, and to repeat daily. I still had moments of laziness. I still had distractions. But now I noticed them. I did not let them control me. I decided what deserved my attention. I chose actions that helped me grow. I also learned the value of consistency. One page read every day became 50 pages a month. One sentence written every day became a full notebook in a few months. Small actions multiplied over time. That multiplication created strength, skill, and confidence. I also learned to enjoy the process. Learning is not only about results, it is about the journey. Each small action gave satisfaction. Each habit created discipline. Each lesson built understanding. I also noticed how my mind changed. Thoughts became clear. Ideas became stronger. My imagination grew. I could plan, create, and solve better. Time felt abundant, even though it was the same 24 hours. I realized that wasting time makes life feel short. Using time makes life feel long, rich, and full. I also learned to set simple rules for myself. No unnecessary scrolling. No meaningless arguments. No repeating old mistakes. Respect the day. Respect your body. Respect your mind. Respect your time. These rules were small, but they guided every choice. I also learned to celebrate small wins. Waking up early, writing one page, finishing a book, helping a friend. Each small victory motivated me to continue. I also learned to reduce noise. Social media, gossip, and empty talk used to control me. I stopped them. I spent energy only on things that mattered. I also learned that patience is powerful. Change is slow, growth is quiet, but persistence wins. Small actions repeated daily are unstoppable. I also learned the value of one sentence in guiding life. My uncle's words echo in my mind. Do not waste your life. Short, simple, but full of truth. That sentence protects me from laziness, fear, and distraction. I also learned to teach. Sharing my story on Bookish English helped me and others. I taught small habits, small steps, and small lessons. Many people wrote that they started small after hearing my story. That feedback gave me energy to continue. I also learned to reflect every night. What did I do today? What did I learn? What can I improve tomorrow? Reflection makes life conscious. Reflection turns moments into lessons. Reflection turns time into wisdom. I also learned that mistakes are not failures. They are teachers. Each mistake showed what to adjust. Each failure gave experience. Writing lessons in my notebook made them permanent. I also learned that focus is more important than speed. Doing one thing well is better than many things poorly. Focus improves quality, clarity, and results. I also learned that rest is not wasted time. Sleep early, rest enough. Energy grows, focus grows, productivity grows. I also learned to enjoy simple pleasures. Sunlight in the morning, a warm cup of tea, reading a page, writing a sentence, walking slowly, listening carefully. These small joys make life rich. I also learned that time is the greatest treasure. Money can return, but lost hours cannot. Protect time like gold. Every choice about time matters. I also learned to avoid meaningless comparisons. Compare only with your past self. Am I better today than yesterday? That question keeps focus on growth. I also learned to face fear through action, fear of starting, fear of failing, fear of judgment. Small actions reduce fear. Waiting increases it. I also learned to enjoy small challenges. Learning a word, writing a sentence, reading a story. Each challenge builds confidence. Each challenge strengthens mind. I also learned to manage energy. Body, mind, and time are connected. Walking, water, healthy meals, clear thoughts. Balance creates power. I also learned that happiness comes from progress, not comfort. Small improvements, small actions, small knowledge give true joy. I also learned the power of repetition, reading notes again, revising lessons, reflecting daily. Repetition creates habits. Habits shape life. I also learned that curiosity drives learning. Curiosity makes small actions exciting. Curiosity keeps life moving. I also learned to protect my focus. remove distractions, keep environment clean, avoid useless talk, spend time with people who inspire, teach, and act. I also learned that gratitude strengthens growth. Each night, writing 3 things I am thankful for makes life feel full. Life feels meaningful in small moments. I also learned to forgive myself. Days wasted, hours lost, mistakes made. Forgiveness allows continuation without guilt. I also learned to accept life's pace. Slow growth is still growth. Small steps every day create real change. I also learned to see life as a process, not results, not perfection, but learning, acting, and reflecting every day. I also learned that my choices shape my life. Every action matters, every hour matters, every day matters. I also learned to enjoy mornings. Early hours feel peaceful, mind feels clear, energy feels fresh. Morning shapes the day. I also learned that silence is powerful. Silence helps thoughts grow. Noise hides truth. Quiet moments reveal purpose. I also learned that discipline is freedom. Small habits repeated daily free mind from laziness, fear, and distraction. I also learned to protect my mind, avoid unnecessary news, gossip, and worry. Focus on learning, creating, and helping. I also learned to respect knowledge. Every page read, every lesson learned, every word written is a seed. Seeds grow into wisdom with care. I also learned that action beats waiting. Waiting creates fear. Action creates courage. One step today is better than many plans tomorrow. I also learned that teaching others strengthens understanding. Sharing my story on Bookish English helped me grow and helped others start small. I also learned that life is precious. Every hour is a gift. Every minute counts. Every day matters. That understanding changes choices, habits, and focus.